You're watching Studio J, the best of Jefferson Multimedia from Jefferson Middle School in the Fort Wayne Community Schools. Our first project tonight is a photo slideshow from Second Hour called Summer Comes to an End. Here's a photo slideshow from Sixth Hour entitled Downtown Fort Wayne. Our everyday drama movies are meant to take an ordinary thing that happens in your house every day and fill it so full of conflict that it scares you to death. And here's a great example from Seventh Hour, A Scare in the Garden.
Oh shoot, I'm gonna be late for school. Graham, have you seen my shoes? Graham, where are my shoes? Oh my god. Dad, help!
What's the matter? Oh my God. Kathleen, are you all right? We gotta get her to the hospital. Come on.
All right.
Alex, come on, hurry. Hurry up, Alex. Time is important. Come on, traffic. Green light, please. Alex, You better go check her pulse right now.
All right. Yeah, I feel it. I feel it.
All right, we're here. Now, Alex, we've got to work together to get her out of this car and get her inside the hospital, all right?
All right.
Catalina, we're here. We're at the hospital. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, she's waking up.
You're watching Studio J, the best of Jefferson Multimedia from Jefferson Middle School in the Fort Wayne Community Schools. At Jefferson Middle School, we start our year in media class by telling a story visually, the story of how to check out a library book, and afterwards you'll see a review of the lessons about filmmaking we learned working on our library movie. What's up, Jefferson? I wanted to review what we did with the library movie and talk about what we should have learned from it, what we need to apply when we make our own movies at home. So let's take a look at it and chat as we go. Now, with your opening shot, we see Jordan walk through the door. As soon as she's through the door, we cut to the inside. Notice we want to match up where the door is in shot one with shot two, because it looks like it's a little bit, maybe like a third of the way open. They've matched it up really well right here. What many of us do is we show her go through the door twice, which isn't something we want to see. Walks through it once, and then we see her walk through it again. So make sure that when you cut from one room to another, start shot two at the exact spot where shot one ended. Here we have her walking down the aisles. Notice the editing is really tight. When I say shots should be as short as possible, as soon as she leaves, we cut to the next shot. And we don't have her standing around in between pictures. She picks up the book, we cut to the next shot. She walks up to the bookcase, we cut to the next shot immediately. This is the longest image in the entire movie, where she leaves through the book and then she walks out. As soon as she's gone, we cut to the next one. I would actually cut a little bit off. You notice how the camera jiggles at the very end? Can you see it moving? I'm wiggling the mouse back and forth. That's me pressing the pause button. So anytime the picture moves at the very end, you want to grab it and cut that out. So I'm going to wait until her foot just gets barely out of the image, and that's good. Also notice when we go from one picture to another, she's walking in the first shot, then she's walking in the second shot. If you start a movement, you want to carry it through to the next one. Look at how tightly this is edited. I like this. Check out what happens at the end of this shot. Mrs. Birch has the book. She's pulling it towards herself. I'm scanning forward with my mouse, so it's kind of slow motion. But here, in the very next frame, she's got that scanner gun out. Now that was a continuity issue, probably my fault as the director. You want to make sure that when the shot ends, you have people freeze while you set up the next shot so that when you move the camera, they can be in the exact same spot when they start the next one. Otherwise, you'll see things magically appear in her hands that wasn't there just a second ago. The only other thing I'd change about this, check it out. Woo! Chill out a bit there, honey. Now remember, acting is good, but don't overact quite so much, because then you look kind of strange. Which she is, but so am I, so I can say that. One more thing. In the version we filmed later in the day with Steven, you notice anything that I've left in this shot? Yeah, it's the tripod. Remember how I took the camera off the tripod and I'm standing on a chair shooting down on him? Make sure you don't leave your stuff in the frame or it makes you look kind of sloppy like I was here. But that's what I've got for the library movie. Really good stuff. I'm proud of your work on this. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Here's a rewind from 2014, produced at Jefferson Middle School, entitled Why Am I a Teacher?
Teachers. Some students think they're robots that never leave the building. Many of us think they don't have a life or an opinion about anything, but they do. Have you ever wondered what they thought about schooling? Do they like Jefferson? Maybe even if they wanted to be a teacher when they were kids. Well, here's our chance to discover what these instructors really think about teaching.
I was a very bad student, starting around 3rd grade all the way to my junior year in high school. I had lots of C's, lots of D's, and lots of F's, but I knew when I was a junior I could sign up for radio production class, and I took it and I loved it. I did really great at it, and all of my grades went from those C's, D's, and F's up to A's and B's.
I like educating because I think it's so fun to be around kids. I love the energy that they have, and me, I'm super energetic as well. So we feed off each other very well.
The reason I guess I started teaching was because when I was in school, I was not necessarily the best of student, and I always had teachers that encouraged me to do better and to do my best. So I think I'm sort of paying it forward, and that's why I really chose to teach.
When I was a child, in 4th grade, I used to line up every teddy bear I've ever owned, all of my dolls, all of my Barbies, and teach them how to write. I was one of those kids that knew that I could do something, and I really liked my teachers and my elementary teachers. Then when I got to college and I realized that teachers don't always make a lot of money, I thought I will be an accountant. After 1 year of taking accountant classes, I realized that education was definitely the better choice for me.
I was like a lot of kids, I guess. I grew up playing sports, so I always envisioned myself as playing some sort of professional sport, but teaching never really even was a consideration when I was young. I was not, like I said, I wasn't a fantastic student, so being in school, any extra time that I needed to was not really an option.
I did not want to be a teacher as a kid. I wanted to be an astronaut because space is cool. So there.
Before I became a teacher, my first job was actually in college. I refused to work with food and fast food because I'm not that good of a cook, and also I'd be grossed out if I saw how food was really made there, and I would never eat there. So I decided that I would have my first job at college, and I was a tour guide. So I got to explain the history of the campus, what the buildings, when they were built, who they represented, donors and things like that to potential students, and I really enjoyed it because I like talking to people, I like hanging out. And there's nothing like cramming 20 people into an elevator at once just to get to the next floor.
My very first job was a paper boy. I had a paper route. That was my very first job. Hated it. I have worked at a grocery store, bagging groceries, stocking shelves. I did that a lot through high school. I worked at the Sunglass Hut in the mall in college to make a little extra money.
Teaching's all I've ever done. I graduated from college in 1995. So wow, it's almost been 20 years, but it's all I've ever done and it's all I've ever wanted to do. If I had to give it up, I wouldn't know where to go. It would be kind of scary.
Have you ever had any other accompany?
We can edit all this, right?
Yeah.
Here's a flashback from 2015 entitled Gerbil Pigs 2: Quest for Carrot. You're watching Studio J, the best of Jefferson Multimedia from Jefferson Middle School in the Fort Wayne Community Schools. We close with a photo slideshow from 7th hour entitled Nature. You're watching Studio J, the best of Jefferson Multimedia from Jefferson Middle School in the Fort Wayne Community Schools. You can watch our videos online at youtube.com/Jefferson Multimedia. You can also look for Jefferson Multimedia on Facebook, and you can see our daily lessons at jeffmedia.weebly.com.